Hello everybody and welcome to Season 3 of Kozibear's Cooking, Episode 7 out of 10. My name is Alexander Kazina and I am here to guide you on a fantastic voyage of flavors and delightfulness. Today, in a very fiery and cool fashion. As you all know, from having watched prior episodes of Kozibear's Cooking Season 3, I come to you live every Sunday at 4 p.m. EST to cook up all manner of delightful, international, and unusual dishes for your eyeballs and ear holes to enjoy, and my lips to savor. If you're not currently doing so already, you can catch the show live, of course, on this time, only for a couple more weeks, as well as give back to the channel by following, subscribing, or even donating. If you do any of the above three actions, you will earn my eternal gratitude and a couple of spins from the prize wheel of causality. I got the name right this time. I'm very happy about that. Okay, today we have a little bit more of an unusual episode in store for you. Why is it unusual? Well, let me show you what my fridge currently looks like. As you can see, not a whole lot currently going on in my fridge, and there's a reason for that. It broke again. Last time that my fridge broke, we were able to get it repaired quickly enough that I was able to get on with that week's episode of Kozibear's Cooking without a hitch. This time around, however, repairman couldn't come until Monday, and so I kind of had to scramble and rethink what this episode would look like, and I figured, you know what? What if, instead of me making some sort of big dish that needs to be refrigerated, I made some dish that could be frozen, because our freezer is still working perfectly fine. And so that got me thinking, you know what? I have been meaning to make some sort of dish centered around Fanfar, the Lord of Flames, who is a mascot slash character from the comedy button from way back when. What if I somehow figured out how to incorporate him into this episode? I really like the idea of Fanfar, whose title is literally the Lord of Flames, being made into like something that is very cool, very Frozen. And that got me thinking, what if I made a spicy ice cream? It has become trendy over the course of the past couple of years to make ice creams that have a little bit of that heat to it so that you have that nice cold sweat as you indulge in it. And so that led me down various paths and tracks, and lo and behold, I finally have the meal that I am going to be making for you today. To give you a little bit of visual reference, this right here over on the left side of the screen is Fanfar Lord of Flames. This is actually a painting that was made by one Max Scoville of the comedy button of what Fanfar could hypothetically look like. We're going to be making him, as he appears here, entirely out of chocolate spicy ice cream. Now this is a recipe that I got off of YouTube, off of the YouTube channel Adelaide, Adelaide. Oh no, wait a minute, hold on a second. No, I think Adelaide refers to the location. I'm a little bit confused here. No, the actual channel is called Frankie's Fire. Frankie's Fire only has 527 subscribers, not a whole lot, so by all means, go and give Frankie's Fire a subscription. I want to make sure that I, properly give credit to all of the wonderful people that I get my stream ideas from here. He posted 1 year ago a chocolate chili ice cream, which by the way, only has 113 views. Not a whole lot, so you might want to give that a little bit of love as well. And long story short, it is exactly as it says it is. It's a chocolate chili ice cream. What we're going to do is we're going to pretty much follow the recipe to a T. However, his recipe does not call for us to use an ice cream maker, and we are going to be using an ice cream maker. And also, we're actually going to be reducing the amount of chocolate cocoa powder that we use inside of it, and instead, in place of that, putting a little bit of red food coloring so that the color of the ice cream will more closely resemble Fanfar's fair brownish red skin. Let me just read the description from the YouTube video. I love chocolate, I love chili peppers, and I love ice cream, so I thought I would put all three of these together into an amazing chocolate chili ice cream. This recipe is great because you don't need any fancy equipment or an expensive ice cream maker and only a few ingredients to make this. Again, we are going to be using an ice cream maker when we make it. I'm using the last of my super hot chili peppers to make this spicy, chocolatey, creamy dessert. We'll talk about the chili peppers in a second. If you like this video, please show me some love, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. By all means, if you're watching this stream, you like what I made today, go and do the same for this video. See you same chili time, same chili channel. This recipe is enough for a medium takeaway Tupperware container. Ingredients. 1 395 gram or 14 ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. We have 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk at the ready, so we'll need to figure out how much of these that we need. Let's see here. 2 cups of thickened heavy whipping cream. I have been able to keep a carton of 2 cups of heavy whipping cream stored inside of this temperature resistant bag. As you can see, we have it right here. I will be keeping it in here with this little cooling pack until we are ready to use it, which will be right away. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Of course, we always have this stuff at the ready. 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Again, we will be reducing the amount of cocoa powder that we put in this recipe. We'll only be putting in enough to add just a little bit of coloration to it and also to give it a little bit of that cocoa flavor, but we won't be adding too much. 6 to 10 chili peppers. Now, here's what he says. I use Oz Brain Killer ones, which have a Scoville rating of 750,000 below a ghost pepper. I do not have that specific brand of chili pepper because I do not live in Australia or New Zealand. Instead, I managed to get these from the store. These are red Thai chili peppers. They are a product of Mexico. Now, what I've been reading about online is that apparently these have a Scoville rating of between 50 and 100,000. My plan is that I actually intend on using a couple of these chili peppers to help kind of decorate the Fanfarish ice cream creation we're going to be making today. So what I'm thinking is, his recipe says to use 6 to 10 chili peppers. I guess I might as well use 10 of these chili peppers for the purpose of the recipe, and then everything else I can use as decoration. This is probably going to be noticeably less spicier than whatever it is that he made for his channel, but I think that's okay. I do want to actually eat this. This isn't just for like presentation purposes, so hopefully we can figure something out. Okay, real simple to make this recipe. Of course, I watched the YouTube video ahead of time, but thankfully, and I really appreciate this, he has the steps of how to make this particular recipe in the description. 1, wash, destem, and chop chili peppers up into small pieces. 2, add cream and chili peppers to a small jug/bowl. Mix well and allow to infuse in the fridge for half an hour. 3, add vanilla to cream and whip until soft peaks form. 4, add cocoa powder and whip until incorporated. 5, add sweetened condensed milk and mix until light, silky, and smooth. And 6, place in freezer safe container with plastic wrap and chill for 5 hours. That is the step number 6, where we're actually instead going to be using our ice cream maker before we move on to kind of setting up our plate. And then 7, remove from freezer and wait 5 minutes before scooping and serving. We will be skipping that because we do not have 7 hours to wait. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, I guess let's get this show on the road. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to be chopping up our 10 peppers. I'm going to be using this smaller cutting board for this part of the cooking process. Let me bring the counter view in. Here we go. I'm going to choose like some chili peppers that wouldn't necessarily look as good for the later part when we're doing our presentation stuff. Let's see. We want to use 10. So these are 8, 9, and 10. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now in the video itself, our beloved Frankie's Fire happened to use some gloves to make sure that he didn't stain his hands with the chili juice. I'm actually going to check real quick if we happen to have any similar gloves on hand. Nope, we do not. So we're just going to try and be very careful. We're going to be very careful and trust that we won't get too much chili juice in our face and eyes. We will be keeping the seeds, by the way, on these chili peppers because ultimately we want to, add the seeds, kind of chilliness, spiciness to the cream when we infuse it. But of course, we're not going to be including these seeds in the final product because those will be removed with the fine mesh sheave. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring in the sync camera. Let's give these a nice, quick little wash. Okay, that was a nice, good little wash. Let's get cutting. Remove the stems. We're just going to keep the stems over there. Ooh, I can already feel the pepper's spiciness sort of wafting towards me. This is one of those streams where I feel like things have the potential to go very wrong if I'm not careful, so I'm going to try to be extra careful. Man, it's already wafting into my throat. Okay, I'm gonna use this little indented section of the cutting board to store the completed chopped up pieces of my chili pepper. So I'm just gonna remove the stems from it. And yeah, from here, okay, this is gonna be, I'm not sure how I wanna do this. I guess I can start by cutting them in half like this, or well, as in half as I can. And then I guess I can chop them into smaller and smaller pieces from here. There's some seeds that are getting on the counter. I'm gonna have to be careful about those. All right, there we go. I think I'm doing a pretty good job in terms of cutting them up as small as I should cut them up. I gotta be honest, I have a few wounds on my fingers and I feel a little bit regretful that I didn't do maybe a better job of not picking at them as much, because I suspect at some point they'll start stinging a little bit from the chili peppers. Okay. There we go. Man, I can still feel the chili's spiciness wafting through the air, but surprisingly, I've not had that bad of a reaction thus far. I was really concerned for a moment there. go. All right, just 3 more left. We should be good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really love this song. Too loud. Give me a second. There we go. Much better. Okay, that is all of the chili peppers. Whoa, Snorkelies, thank you for the subscription. Fanfar branching out from laundry to do ice cream business, eh? Oh, you better believe it. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Give me a second. Because you, sir, just subscribed, I'm going to be spinning a couple of spins from the prize wheel of causality. 3 to be total. Which of course you can get as well if you should subscribe to me at home. Thank you once again. Give me just a quick moment. I don't mind, by the way, taking some time to spin the wheel, because I want to make sure that my ice cream maker is as frozen as it possibly can be before we get to that part of the stream. All right. Let's go ahead and let's spin the wheel. All right, Bionicle book time right off the bat. Hello, Cotiaro. What am I cooking today? Today I am making some spicy ice cream themed around Fanfar, Lord of Flames. Fanfar, who you can see on the left side of the screen here, is a character from a podcast called The Comedy Button. It's a spicy ice cream mix recipe that I found online that features a hint of chocolate in it and some spicy chilies as the kind of central flavoring slash spicing ingredient. It's the first time I've made it, but I am looking forward to seeing what it looks like. And hey, not a problem. And by all means, I appreciate the appreciation of my cinematography and professionality. It took quite a bit of time for me to come up with a Twitch stream that looked quite this good and had all of my crazy kind of camera movements going around here, there, and everywhere. And I'm glad that you enjoy it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's read a little bit from Bionicle Chronicles #1. Last time, in Bionicle Chronicles #1, Tahu was informed by Jala, the captain of the Takoro Guard, that he could find one of the masks of power in Onukoro. Onuwahi, Tahu repeated. Those caves and tunnels that Onua spoke of? Yes, Jala replied. The network of underground passageways lies beneath much of Matanui. There's an entrance just over that way, beyond the lavastone wall. It leads to... Thanks, Tahu interrupted, turning away. Tahu, Jala called after him. Wait! Tahu paused, glancing over his shoulder. Yes? What is it? He demanded impatiently. Jala touched one fist to his mask to make a salute. I just wanted to wish you luck, he said. Take care in the dark underground. We just got you. We don't want to lose you again. Tahu smiled. Worry not, he said. You'll not get rid of me so easily. It wasn't long before Tahu realized why the Matoran had been so worried. Everything about the dark, twisting tunnels of Onuwahi felt wrong. Even with the glow cast by his fire sword, the darkness seemed to huddle around him, suffocating in its closeness. Taking a deep breath, he forced himself to move on, Some dark part of his mind protested. No, we don't belong here. We shouldn't be here. We'll be crushed. But Tahu shook his head fiercely, willing such thoughts away. The air grew cold and still. The flame on his sword sputtered and flickered, but the force of his will kept it burning. Almost there, he told himself grimly. I can feel it. These tunnels can't possibly go much deeper. And yet they did. Deeper and deeper and deeper, until Tahu started to wonder if he hadn't just imagined that there was a surface world at all. Deeper, until he started seeing strange shapes moving in the shadows just beyond his glowing red light. And still deeper. Finally, he stepped out to the end of a tunnel into an enormous cavern. A raw, howling wind whipped through it. And that is all for Bionicle Chronicles #1. I see that I got quite a bit of new people in the stream chat since starting the book. Hello, Archerito420. Unfortunately, no joke, I actually was originally planning on making a pizza today. Let me just get rid of the Bionicle Chronicles stuff for the time being. Yeah, so long story short, I was originally planning on making a mac and cheese pizza today, where the mac and cheese would have been mixed with eggs to make like the pizza base in place of the dough. However, unfortunately, our fridge broke at the last minute, but our freezer is still working a-okay, and so I figured it would make more sense to do ice cream today, because at least I can still keep that frozen in our freezer when we're done for the evening. And yeah, that's the plan. Let's see here. What did I miss? Mac and cheese pizza. It's basically it's inspired by a recipe that was done by Josh Shear of the Mythical Kitchen channel. Josh Shear and a lot of his sort of co-workers work for Good Mythical Morning, the YouTube channel, where they have like a lot of weird food creations. They did one video on their own where they basically made a mac and cheese pizza, and I figured, you know what if I made a bunch of mac and cheese pizzas using the like craft flavor boosters that they released last year in 2021? So I would make like a jalapeno pizza with the Kraft mac and cheese jalapeno flavor booster in the mac and cheese, and also jalapenos on top of the pizza. That is still on the cards for this channel, but not this Sunday, most likely next Sunday. So yeah, that's the current plan. The Adam Ragusa channel, he's cool AF. I am not familiar with the channel, unfortunately. Is he also like a cooking streamer guy? Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my second wheel spin because, of course, Snorkelly subscribed to me, and so I have to perform 3 wheel spins for his enjoyment. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, Pokemon card time. All right, this is where yours truly opens up 4 Pokemon cards on stream. Let me get the correct camera set up for that stuff. I have quite a lot of buttons set up on my Stream Deck, so if it takes a while, you'll understand why. All right, this is from a Sword and Shield Fusion Strike booster pack. I think I've opened up one of these booster packs before, but this one is brand new. Cotiero says he is a cooking YouTuber, professional cook. People know him as the guy who seasons his cutting board. Oh, interesting. I hope I can get a shiny Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that I have like a shiny Pokemon card somewhere in my collection, but I don't remember from where or when. Okay. All right. Of course, starting off the bunch, we have our like digital like redemption card thingy. Somebody wants to screen cap that and redeem it online, by all means, feel free to do so. All right, card 1 of 4. And by the way, I will not dip the cards in the peppers. I want to preserve their value as much as possible. Who's it going to be? Oh, look at that. It's Meryl, the Gen 2 Pokemon. Even after Meryl swims in a cold sea, its water repellent fur dries almost as soon as Meryl leaves the water. That's why this Pokemon is never cold. He's like Black Panther. He never freezes. All right. Card number 2. Let's go. Who's it gonna be? Oh, look at that. It is Helioptile. The sun powers this Pokemon's electricity generation. Interruption of that process stresses Helioptile to the point of weakness. Helioptile, an interesting Pokemon. Fun fact, a couple of days ago, one of those like Twitter things was going around where it's like, oh man, the first name, the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name correspond to these two types being your Pokemon types. And for me, it was electric and normal. So I would have been Helioptile or Heliolisk, which is his evolution. Because they're the only two electric normal Pokemon. All right, third card. Oh, look at that. It's Wooloo, the Gen 8 sheep Pokemon. If its fleece grows too long, Wooloo won't be able to move. Cloth made of its wool of this Pokemon is surprisingly strong. Sounds good. All right. Let's see what card number 4 will yield for us. I'm excited. Let's see what it's going to be. Oh, look at that. It is another Gen 8 Pokemon. It's Gossifleur, which is one of those Pokemon that, seriously, you could have given me a million guesses and I would not have been able to guess what it was called. It whirls around in the wind while singing a joyous song. This beautiful display has charmed many into raising this Pokemon. That's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to move the Pokemon camera view out of the way. We still have one more wheel spin that we need to award Snorkelies with, but let's progress a little bit in the recipe first, and then we will spin the wheel. Okay, so after we have chopped up all of our chili peppers into small pieces, we have to add them to the cream and mix well. And then the idea is that from there, we want to leave it in the fridge for half an hour. We don't quite have half an hour fridge time to work with because our fridge literally is not working at all. What I'm thinking is either I could put it in the freezer for like 15 minutes, or if I find like a really small bowl, I guess I could put it into the same cooler pack that I've been using to keep the cream cool for the past little bit as well. Let me look inside the pantry, see what we have. Because if we have like a really big like mug or something of that nature that we can mix them together inside of, that could probably work. Oh. I have this like really tall, but it doesn't really fit inside the thing. Unless I guess if I like keep it upright like this and I have it like that, that could work. That could work. All right, let's give that a shot. Let's give that a shot. All right, because I need to be careful because there's a little hole at the top. We don't want to accidentally flip it over. All right. Let's go ahead. This particular carton of cream is exactly 2 cups. I've already determined that ahead of time. I just bought it from the store today, but give me a quick little second. After I put this thing in the garbage, I'm just gonna shake it up real quick. Have you tried any of those ice cream makers which make ice cream from milk or cream? Have you heard anything about them? I'm a little bit confused. Like I have used my ice cream maker, which I have over here. The part that will be frozen when I use the ice cream maker is currently in the freezer. I've used this to make ice cream that has dairy inside of it. I'm not sure if you're referring to that or if you're referring to like some sort of other mechanism that like manually adds the dairy into like the mixing process, possibly. Okay, trying to get as much of the... I bought one in Nervous Mania on February 23rd. Oh, well, I hope that your ice cream making adventures go well with it. All right. I think I got about as much cream out of this thing as I possibly could. I'm gonna apply just like tiniest little bit of water in here and just see, can I like extract a little bit more blood from the stone? There we go. You bought one bigger. Ooh, it sounds good. I don't feel like our household definitely did not need an ice cream maker bigger than the one that I got. I think this one will serve us quite nicely. Now I'm gonna try to put this stuff into the cream. Let me bring the counter view in. I'm gonna try to put this into the cream without, spilling any of it on the ground, but obviously that's kind of a fool's errand. Of course I'm going to spill some stuff on the ground, but it's not that big of a deal. A little bit of pepper ended up in the cap. There we go. A couple of additional pieces here. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to use the spoon just to real quickly kind of mix up the peppers and cream so that they are well integrated throughout the entirety of the liquid mixture that we have in front of us. Okay, the only thing is that I'd like to get as much of this cream off of the spoon, and so I'm going to use this spatula here real quick to do so. And I'll be using the spatula later on when I'm mixing up the ice cream as well. Don't you forget about it. Okay, I'm just going to put that, I'm going to quarantine that spoon in the sink real quickly, just so that we don't accidentally, use it to infect some surface of the kitchen with its spiciness. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to apply the cover to it. Just mix it up a little bit like that. And I'm going to put it inside here, and I'm going to close it tight. Now I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes, but we're kind of going to use our best judgment. If after 20 minutes we're feeling like, okay, it's time to kind of like move on with the stream, I feel like this stuff has infused for long enough, we will move on then. Echo, set a timer for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, starting now. Okay, and we're going to put it over here for the time being. Actually, if I want to, you know what I could do if I really want to make sure that it remains cold is I could actually just put it outside, because outside it is quite cool right now. Give me just a very quick little second. I will be right back. And there we go. I just stored it outside. Hopefully, nobody will attempt to opportunistically steal it off of my porch. I don't think so. I think people are not likely to do so, given that it's this weird, small-looking cooler pack. Anyways. And yeah, I think that you talked about being in Cyprus since December on the last stream that we were chatting about it together, Cotiero. All right, well, we have a few minutes to burn. So first things first, let's go ahead and let's do Snorkelly's third wheel spin. What do we want to do? Right, here we go. I put it on my porch because I want to, exactly, yeah, it's cold out, and I mean, it will remain cold inside the cooler pack with the thing of ice that I put with it, but it being outside right now, while it's still quite cool outside, will guarantee that it remains cool for the next little bit. All right, let's go. Hot sauce shot. Well, this is a little bit, not gonna lie, kind of weird to do a hot sauce shot on a stream where I'm deliberately trying to make something that's really spicy. But lo and behold, that's what the wheel landed on, so that's what we shall do. I actually did not bring the hot sauce onto the counter right at the start of the stream, so I'm gonna get it out here on the counter right now. Let's grab ourselves a little shot appropriate shot glass. There we go. Ooh, there are a lot of seeds from the chili peppers on the counter. We're gonna have to make sure that we clean those up very carefully. All right. Let's see, there we go. All right, I think that's about reasonable, because I don't know if there's any other way of describing a hot sauce shot. Let me just move the counter view in. As you can see, we have just a tiny little amount in here, enough to make a nice little, tiny little gulpful. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's do it. I brushed my teeth like 3 hours ago, and I'm hoping that the fluoride from my toothpaste won't interfere with the taste of this, because I know some people really do love the taste of Tabasco. I think it's okay. All right. Oh. What sucks is this isn't even the last time I'm gonna do that on today's stream. Oh man, there's more spiciness incoming. To help chill down from that, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna just grab some off-screen water real quick. I'm gonna bring the water jug into the kitchen for the remainder of the stream, because I think it'll be good to have this thing on hand. All right. Well, my mouth is still smarting. Let's clean some of the chili pepper seeds off from the counter. Vinegar is not bad. Like, you get some nice like apple cider vinegar and you're gonna have a good time. Definitely much better than just dousing hot sauce straight in the mouth. Whew. All right. Let's switch to doing something a little bit sweeter. As you know, you're on Kozibear's Cooking. We have a segment called Snacks and Collation, where we taste all sorts of delicious, scrumptious, yummy little treats for your ear holes and eyeballs to enjoy and my mouth to savor. Today I actually have two treats, because I realized that I had quite a few treats left over from that grocery run I did at that amazing international market. And so I figured, why not, get a whole bunch of them out of the way on today's stream. Cotiero in the chat is saying, I tell you, I came to Cyprus for vinegar and salt crisps. They have vinegar and prawn cocktail lay chips here. In Moscow, I literally had to order imported ones for real. But let me tell you, I would love to go to Cyprus for the food. Cyprus sounds like a real good food place. But until then, let's go ahead and let's see what Snacks and Collation has in store for us today. Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Kazina, and today we are going to be doing two different Snacks and Collation segments. This is the first of the two, and on this segment we are going to be tasting probably the most inscrutable Snacks and Collation snack that I was able to find during my initial grocery run at Euromarket a couple of months ago. This is Topkus Choco. I really don't know what the hell this is. All of the instructions on it, on both the front and the back, are in German and French. And the French stuff doesn't really do a whole lot to explain what it is that I'm in for, really. I know that there's chocolate involved, there's glucose fructose syrup, some vegetable fat, some water, emulsifiers, but that really does not explain what the hell this is. This is very much one of those things that I went and purchased pretty much based solely on how much I didn't understand what I was looking at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dig right into this thing. It's unusual that you have to open up the box like this. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So they're marshmallows. They're chocolate-covered marshmallows that, as you can see, have been kind of crushed a little bit. That isn't my fault. I was pretty good at handling this box ahead of time, ahead of today's stream, but clearly it happened all the same. Okay. I feel like they could have done something on the packaging to make it clear that, hey, this is like chocolate-covered marshmallows, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job there. Now, something to keep in mind, my mouth is still smarting quite a bit from the hot sauce that I did a shot of just a moment ago, so that will be influencing my enjoyment of some of these delicious little treats. I will do my best to not let it impair my final judgment when it comes time for us to do so. This is, okay, first off, right off the bat, it seems like we can't actually remove any of the Topkuses, I don't know if that's what they're called, from the little placements that they're currently inside of the container that they came inside of. There seems to be, like, there's some sort of like, oh, that's weird. The bottom of the Topkus is like it has like a waffle grid like design, and I think it's like, is it possibly like caramel? All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's give this one a shot. Not a great first impression, but we'll see how it comes out taste-wise. Okay. Everything about this is sticky. Okay, so the bottom, like, waffle grid thingamabob was honey. And it's not very potent honey. I didn't get, like, that much of the honey flavor, but I definitely got its texture. That's 100% what it is. And yeah, the rest of it is, you know, marshmallow covered in chocolate. I actually kind of like the marshmallow. The marshmallow has like a thickness to it that I feel is not typical in a lot of other like chocolate covered marshmallow treats I've had in the past. I actually quite like the marshmallow. I think, I don't know, I don't know how I feel about this one. It's weird. It is a weird ass dessert that I honestly feel like maybe I should have indulged in a little bit faster, but I don't hate it. Let's see here. Let me grab another one. Try and get all of it all in one piece. There we go. All right. Let's go. Take two. Yeah, the marshmallow, like, stick with me on this. The marshmallow almost has like a nougat-y kind of texture to it. Like, it's way just denser than I feel like I'm typically normally used to when it comes to these marshmallow-based treats. And I feel like that's definitely doing a lot of heavy lifting because the overall taste of it is fine. It's whatever. But the texture is really good. And the honey-based base, I think it might actually have a little bit of wheat in here. It's good too. It's like, again, it's not really anything. It exists primarily just to kind of give the top kiss like a base that you can cling onto. The problem is that it's so sticky that it's literally causing the top kisses to stick to the container that they're inside of. Look, this is me just moving it around, nothing's happening. And so that's a bit of a problem. Where is the snack from? I'm assuming that it's made in Germany. It's made by a company called Grabauer, Grabower. That's the only piece of information I have on it. Like I said, the instructions are primarily in French and German. Oops. Let's see here. Yeah, I think, yeah, they're made by Grabauer, Süßwaren, GmbH. They're made in Germany. Yeah, let me just show it real quick. Topkiss. All right, I'm gonna have one more of these bad boys and then I'm going to go to our fair rankings. I've had halloumi before. It's not bad. Okay. I feel like I want to wash my hands a little bit, but I'll hold off on doing that until the very end. Topkiss. I went into this expecting that this would be a complete trash fire, and I did not hate it. It's not my favorite snack that I've had on this channel. It's not the best either. Wait, I just said the same thing twice, didn't I? Point is, Topkiss, not utterly amazing. I don't love how they're completely stuck to the bottom of the container that they're inside of, but the texture really, really impressed me, and taste-wise, they're honestly not bad. So for that, I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. Oh, hold on a second. I did not, my hands are so sticky that I didn't want to press the 7 button too strongly, but as a result, I didn't even activate the 7 button. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I think these things are not bad. I think they're kind of the unexpected sleeper hit of this season of Kozibear's cooking. I think there are better snacks out there, but I think that if you're in a pinch, give them a shot. Give them a shot. All right, I'm gonna end Snacks and Collation for now. I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick. All right. Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 15 minutes left on your 30-minute timer.
We are at 15 minutes, in case you didn't hear it. You know what? Cotiaro in the chat says, I'm afraid to ask you tough questions. For example, can I ask, what would you do if you were me? I'm a little bit, are you referring to like a question from earlier? I don't mind, like, you know, unless it's like super crazy or super deep. I don't mind fielding questions on the show. You're free to ask me whatever's on your mind. Now considering abandoning life in Russia, it's very scary to abandon something on what you have worked on for 10 years. I mean, all my AliExpress packages are still there, everything. I mean, I don't really know. Like the super kind of short and abridged answer that I'll give here is that, like, you know, I'm not so attached to Canada and Montreal and this house that I'm living in right here that I would never want to move out. I can absolutely, definitely see myself living in other countries in the world. I'm the kind of guy that travels to Argentina or, you know, the south of the United States or Japan, and there's definitely an adjustment to have there, but I feel like I'm able to, reach a point where I'm like, I can make this work. I mean, I literally lived in Japan for 6 months. Of course, like, knowing that you won't necessarily be able to bring everything that you had from your former house is definitely tough. But I feel like I'm kind of reaching that point in my life where, so long as I can just like build a new computer and access my old stuff digitally, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I do definitely have some physical, keepsakes here and there that I wouldn't want to, depart with, but I don't know, it's tough. It's not really something that I've ever really thought about, because I've always reasoned that, if/when I move out of the current house I'm living in, I'll be able to do so, bringing along whatever it is I want to bring along with me. I don't think it would be like overly difficult, but obviously I can't, speak to the very specific kind of geopolitical situation currently happening in Russia at the moment. You hate it where you are. You hate it there now. Got it. Yeah, it's tough. I can imagine it's really tough for you. Like I said, for me, I don't feel like it would be the toughest thing in the world. But again, I think that the two different situations that we're dealing with, our reasons for wanting to hypothetically leave are, home countries are very different. So, yeah. I think, Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 11 minutes left on your 30-minute timer.
There's 11 minutes left on the timer. Like I said, I feel like we don't need to wait all the time in the world for the spiciness to infuse into the cream that we have waiting for us outside. I may have mentioned this earlier on in the stream. Anyways, I thought about good stuff looking at your kitchen. Well, I'm glad that my kitchen setup is able to bring you a little bit of comfort in that way. I do these streams, partially for my own enjoyment, because I like making these fun, weird little dishes that I post on social media after the fact. But I also, hope that people do genuinely enjoy tuning into these things. I obviously don't have a huge viewership, so at this point, it really is just a passion project. And that reminded me of my AliExpress packages and ice cream maker at home. Yeah, I don't really use AliExpress a whole lot, but I did use AliExpress to actually get the 2 foot pedals that I use on stream. The first one being over here, which brings in my sync view camera, and the second one being over here. Elgato recently released a foot pedal that I presume will probably work a little bit better than these 2 ones work, because these ones you sometimes have to bang on them a little bit to activate them. But it also is like way more expensive. These 2 foot pedals each cost like, I want to say like $13, which is, I think, what the amount of money that you should pay for a foot pedal if you're gonna buy a foot pedal. The Elgato one sounds like, I think it was like $30 or something, more than that even. All right. You know what? We need to get this stream rolling, so let's go ahead and I am going to pause the stream real quick so that we can retrieve our cream that is waiting for us outside. Be right back. And I am back. Sorry to keep you waiting for a minute there. What do you have to search on Ali to find them? Stream buttons? I think in my case, all I had to do, I don't even think I necessarily went on AliExpress first to find them. I think I just searched into my search bar, like, stream foot pedals. Like, I don't think I specifically searched like stream pedals. I think it just searched like foot pedals or like foot buttons, basically. Because these are things that have existed for quite some time. You can make the argument that like a foot pedal is the same thing as like the gas or brake pedals that you have in your car. And yeah, from there I was kind of able to just find these foot pedals, and yeah, I ordered them, they came, and it took me a little bit of time to set up one of them because you had to install some weird software to get it working, but it worked out, and it has been working out pretty well for me. Unfortunately, these things do have a limited shelf life because eventually after stepping on them too many times, apparently they will eventually kind of get kind of jittery and break. But I have not felt any jitteriness from them yet, so hopefully they'll still be able to hold on a little bit longer. Sorry for that. All right, there are currently about 8 minutes left on the Amazon Echo timer, so that was quite a bit of a nice 20 or so minutes that we were able to give ourselves to let the chili peppers and cream infuse into each other. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's pour it into this big mixing bowl that we have in front of ours. Oh yeah, weird software and having to open them up and repair trademark Chinese electronics. Exactly. It was exactly that. We're going to pour as much of it as we can through the mesh sheet, and then we will... yeah, there we go. I was concerned for a second that the cream was not pouring through, but it absolutely was. So we'll try and do as much of it like that just by pouring it over, but at a certain point, we're probably going to have to use the spatula a little bit to mop up some of this cream. And again, I'm going to be very, very careful because I know that this is especially deadly cream, and that if I make the mistake of accidentally licking any of it, I'm in for a nasty, spicy surprise. All right. We're going to have to make sure that we wash this water bottle quite well. We don't want to get any spicy residue in this left over for whoever decides to drink from it again in the future. Okay, I think that's more or less good enough. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this thing in the sink. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to soak it right away, just so that we can start that process toot sweet. Okay. All right. Echo, turn off the timer.
30-minute timer canceled.
Okay. I'm just gonna, let me use the spatula a little bit. I'm just gonna shift around the chili peppers that are in the mesh sheet just to make sure that we can get as much of the liquid to go through the mesh as we possibly can so that we're not leaving any behind. Doesn't seem like anything got through, so that's good. Okay, let me just grab the compost recycling real quick because we are going to get rid of these peppers as quickly as we can so that they don't bother us any longer. And then we're gonna soak this thing in the sink as well so that we can not have to worry about it later on, accidentally surprising someone. Okay. right, we're gonna have to do more of a thorough cleanse of this mesh later on, but we applied as much water as we could for the time being to get rid of some of its ickiness, and that will have to do. I'm in Cyprus. A lot of IT people here now. Saw Stalker 2 developers on Beachfront a few days ago. Yeah, you were talking about that on the previous stream, actually. Okay. Or unless you're talking about like a different time meeting up with them. Okay. Whew, now I'm tempted to give this cream that we have in front of us a quick little taste. Do I want to do so? Do I want to tempt fate? Yes, I do. All right. Very, very, very just tiny little, quick little taste. Spice didn't come through as strongly as I was anticipating, but maybe it just... Oh, I can feel it a little bit. Okay, so it's not as spicy as perhaps you might expect it to be, but the spice is there. Okay. Yeah, it's not a problem, Kotero. If you don't feel like you have, another opportunity to, talk about this anywhere else, you can talk about it a little bit here, and I feel like you're being respectful overall to, the nature of, what this stream is and, what should be in the chat. And I mean, hey, we all do a little bit of ruminating before we sleep ourselves, so you don't have to feel alone in that way. All right. Add vanilla to cream and whip until soft peaks form. Right, because we need to add some vanilla. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Let's go ahead and let's do that. All right, let's bring our stand mixer out. Let's mix her up a little bit. It says that we need to mix it until stiff peaks begin to form, so we will heed its instructions. The first dry cleaning firm which uses automatic drop-off dry cleaning lockers in Moscow. That's an interesting idea. I've not heard of anything similar here in Canada, or the States for that matter, but maybe I'm just not living in a city that does that. Sorry that it's taking a minute. It will take a little while for the air to kind of like mix in through the hand mixer. Once it does, we will begin to see some stiff peaks begin to form. If they don't, though, I mean, we'll always be able to add in more air with the ice cream mixer. I can see it beginning to happen. It's not super apparent now, but the constitution of the cream that we're currently whipping up is much different than how it looked before. All right, stiff peaks are beginning to form a little bit, but we need to kind of keep going a little bit more. That sounds pretty high-tech. Ours has a screen for refrigeration. For registration, I'm thinking of refrigeration because I'm working with a lot of cold ingredients. Automatic drop-off bunker, sections for giving out order. Interesting. All right, I think we're just going to do it for like another minute or so, and I think we'll be where we need it to be at. My entire body is beginning to vibrate from this. All right, it's 5 hours and 20 minutes. When it hits 5 hours and 21, we'll move on to the next step. Yeah, look at those stiff peaks. Look at those stiff-ass peaks. All right, it's 5:21. We're going to slowly start decreasing the speed of this thing. Whew. Sorry, guys, that took a little bit of time and that was pretty loud, but what we did, what we needed to do. All right. In the US and Canada, a company called Drop Locker makes these. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, but I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that we already have some version of them. In Britain, it's called Breezy Lockers. In Thailand, it's Washbox 24. Okay, let's see. We whipped until soft peaks form. Now we need to add cocoa powder and whip until incorporated. Okay, so this is the part where we got to really figure out what the color of this thing is going to look like. To bring in a reference image yet again, this is Fanfar, Lord of Flames. As you can see, he is very distinctly red in color. This is supposed to be a chocolate ice cream recipe, but obviously we don't want to add too much cocoa powder because if we do, he's going to be more brown than red. But I will indulge at least 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, and then we will go from there. The recipe normally calls for us to use 5. We will start with 1. All right. Okay. Got our 1 tablespoon in there. We're going to just put this over here to the side. And now I'm just going to grab a toothpick real quick, because the red food coloring that we're going to use is very powerful, and if we're not careful, it will spread everywhere and on everything. So gotta use a little bit of caution. All right. I don't know if that's enough, but I'm gonna just start with that. Oh, that painting? I don't own this painting that you see on the left side of the screen. This painting was made by one Max Scoville. He's one of the hosts of The Comedy Button, which is the podcast where they came up with this character, Fanfar, Lord of Flames. I don't own it myself. How did you end up in Canada? I ended up in Canada because I was born here. My grandparents on both my mother's and father's side immigrated here following World War II and stuck around here. And from there, they gave birth to both my father and mother, and they stuck around here too. And thus, I stuck around here when I was born because I had nowhere else that I could possibly be. All right, we're gonna just start real slow. We're gonna see color-wise if this is what we want to go for. Okay, I think we're gonna need to add a little bit more color because right now it's more pinkish white than red or brown. Let me just, there we go. Okay, let me grab another toothpick. I'm just gonna keep the toothpick container out on the counter. I'm gonna use this to scrape some more red food coloring into here. I'm gonna use the spatula this time to help out a little bit. Again, it's a very potent food coloring, so I want to make sure that I don't overdo it. Okay. I'm thinking I might also want to add some more cocoa powder at some point too. Let's mix up a little bit. Okay, we're getting there, but I think we need to add some more food coloring and some more chocolate as well. I think we can definitely afford to add some more chocolate. I like your idea. Cotiaro, but I don't have any of those on hand. Like I said, our fridge is currently kind of broken, and as a result, we don't have a lot of things that are currently being chilled on hand. If I had some strawberries on hand, I might have dropped them in, but we do not. It is also too a thing though where like this is already a chocolate ice cream and also like a spicy chili pepper ice cream. I feel like at a certain point you get to a point where it's sort of like this is like too many things all at once. I feel like just chocolate and chili peppers will be fine alone. I don't know that you necessarily need to add like strawberries or berries on top of that, but maybe it's the next great flavor combination that people have yet to discover. All right, let's add in our second tablespoon of chocolate. So that's 2 out of 5. Again, we're trying to hold off on adding in all 5 because we want to make sure that it ends up more red than brown. George. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Give me a second. We always want to wipe down the sides like this to make sure that we can get as much of the things on the sides into the bowl as we continue to kind of mix it up. Let's see. Hard to believe it's been an hour and a half that I've been streaming. Doesn't feel like that. I said that it would take maybe 2 hours to do this stream when my parents asked about this earlier, but I'm thinking now that it might be more like maybe like 3 hours actually. It won't be that long though, because we're not really making that big of a meal. It's just a very unusual meal. There we go. Kotiara. Okay. Big cat in Russian. Oh. All right. I'm gonna try and see if I can just sort of like drop like a nice globule of red in here. So I feel like we're taking our time reddening it, and I feel like we can do this a little bit quicker. Okay. Give me a second. I'm pretty good at not getting too much of the food coloring on my hands, so that's nice. All right. All right, there we go. Now that is turning red. But it's still kind of pinkish, to be totally honest. Okay, let's go ahead and add in our 3rd tablespoon of cocoa powder. Hold on a sec. I don't want a heaping tablespoon. I want to keep it as precise as possible. There we go. All right. All right, we're gonna scrape on the sides again. Just to get, again, as much of the stuff that is on the sides into the centerpiece. Okay. I don't think I mentioned this. I also have a bit of red food coloring over here on the side that's in like its own separate bottle, but that stuff tends to, I feel like it tends to turn colors more like pink than actual red, whereas this stuff is like more like a pure red. Let's add you know what, before I add in any more, I'm just gonna do another quick little taste test just to see how this thing is coming around. It's not like sweet right now, but it doesn't taste bad. All right. I mean, it makes sense that it's not sweet right now because we haven't added in our sweetener yet, which is going to be sweetened condensed milk in just a bit. There we go. That's a nice little globby. All right, let's go. All right, I'm really beginning to like the nice red color that we're coming upon here. The only thing is I just want to see if I can make it just a slightly darker red, just so that we can really kind of nail home that this is a dark demon burning with brimstone and fire. Oh, you just wait. I have quite the way that I am going to be serving it up, George. Just you wait. Okay. I feel like I can probably do 1 more tablespoon of cocoa powder, and I can do a little bit more red food coloring, and I think we'll have more or less reached the desired color that we're going for here. There we go. So just to verify, there are 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder in this right now. And the original recipe, of course, calls for 5. Let's see here. Let's get 1 more nice globule of red in this hot mess. I think I need to use the spatula a little bit. Okay, let's mix it up. I got reminded of graphic design because you mentioned not a lot of viewers here on Twitch, and I thought about what a nightmare show business is. Oh, tell me about it. I've tried for quite a few years now to get a consistent viewership on both this Twitch channel and the Press YYZ podcast I do on the side, and it's a continuous and uphill struggle that I still feel like I have not fully cracked or figured out. Seems like you just kind of need to get famous if you want to. All right, so again, I'm just scraping on the sides a little bit so I can get as much stuff into the center to be mixed up. Okay. Oh, hold on a sec. Let me just, get some of that extra stuff off of it. Okay. I think, see, the thing is it's not quite as deep and crimson of a red as perhaps I was originally hoping it could be. But I don't necessarily know at this point if I keep adding red food coloring, like how much redder it's going to turn it. I feel like this is about as far as we can go, and I feel like if I just add the right, like, how do you say? I feel like with the kind of right little kind of like decorations that I'm going to put on it, I feel like I'll be able to give off the correct impression of Fanfar, Lord of Flames, even if it is like not as red as it should look like. There is still part of me that wonders though, like if I just add a little bit more red, will that not hurt as much? You know what I'm going to do is this is the last thing I'll do. I'm just going to add like a tiny little bit of this red food coloring into the mix, just to see if that gets us more in the wheelhouse of what we're going for. And then no matter what happens next, we will stop while we're ahead. Seems like it didn't really change it all that much. All right, that's gonna be that. It's not as red as I was hoping for, but it's as good as we're going to get for now. Okay. All right. Let's bring the Fanfar graphic out of here. All right. We have added our cocoa powder until it's incorporated. Now, number 5, add sweetened condensed milk and mix until light, silky, and smooth. And this is where things get a little bit confusing because the recipe calls for us to use a 395 gram or 14 ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, but we only have 300 milliliter cans. I'm not sure how much that is. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of quick searching on my phone. Let's see here, 300 milliliters to, let's see here, grams. No. That's odd. Hold on a second. What if I do ounces? 300 milliliters to ounces. Okay, it seems like we need 414 milliliters to reach 14 fluid ounces. So that means we're going to need to use one of these entire cans plus a third of the second can. Okay. Oh, this looks good. Just going to take a tiny little lickaroony. Oh yeah, this is good. I think I'm going to need to use the spatula a little bit here if I want to make sure that I get as much of the condensed milk out of this thing. Okay. Shit. This is not, they definitely did not make this part easy. Okay. All right, whatever. I'm just gonna put the lid in the fridge. No need to complicate things. All right. All right. All right, I think we got about as much as we could get out of that one. And now for can number 2. Okay, so we have to pour about a third of this in. This is going to be complicated, but we'll figure it out. Okay. All right, I think that's about, let's see. Like I'm trying to figure, is that like too little? Are we just right? Let's put a little bit more. Okay, I think we more or less got the amount that we need in there. Just a little bit more. Okay, I think we're good. The rest of the condensed milk thing, we'll figure out. We will figure out. Okay. Looks real weird, but I'm sure that once we begin to mix this up, it'll all make sense and work out. Yeah, the instructions say, just to refer back to them again, that we want to mix until it's a light, silky, and smooth creation. Fuck, how did my phone fall on the floor like that? That was weird. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now it's actually beginning to actually resemble what ice cream would look like texture-wise. This actually looks like when you have like melted ice cream. All right. Give me a quick second. I'm just gonna, again, scrape the sides into the bowl so that we're really making sure that we incorporate everything. All right, I think that is everything. Wait, hold on, I'm just gonna spin these around so we can get as much of the mixture inside the bowl. All right, not dripping off of them, perfect. Okay, so it's at this point in the recipe that the recipe asks us to place it in a freezer-safe container with plastic wrap overnight, or for 5 hours. What we're gonna do is we are going to put this in the freezer for, let's say, maybe like half an hour once again. Again, like a very soft half an hour, like when we were keeping the cream chilled. And then we will, in that time, give the ice cream maker a little bit more time to kind of freeze up. And then when we are ready to go, we will use the ice cream maker to make ourselves some soft, delicious ice cream. Let's go ahead, let's make some room for it in the freezer. Go, perfect. All right. Again, I know this is a real tough situation that you're in right now, George. My heart definitely kind of goes out to you and what you're kind of experiencing right now. It feels like in both your kind of personal and professional life, you're just dealing with a lot of top-level bullshit. And I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm hoping that this stream, you know, and I don't mean this in like a kind of selfish or narcissistic way, but, you know, I really do hope that it is helping a little bit. Okay. Echo, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
I'm just gonna bring our ice cream maker over here so we can slowly begin to get that part ready. We're probably gonna do a little bit of cleaning on the counter in front of us. Oh yeah, definitely ice cream will help assuage all wounds. I said earlier that I had a second snack in store for Snacks and Collation. So let's go ahead and let's do our second installment of Snacks and Collation for the evening. Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Kazina and I am back with another round of Snacks and Collation for this stream. You know what it is, you love it. Today we are going to be testing out some cookies. These are Lulu La Barquette Fraise. Let me bring in the super zoom in. These are strawberry cookies that I got at the same European International Foods Market. Now, this is the one treat that I was actually looking forward to tasting the least. Not because it looked the worst, but because I was under the impression that this was an exclusive food item that you could only get at these weird international markets. I actually discovered relatively recently you can get these from the international section of most grocery stores. So it's not the most exotic thing that we're going to be tasting today on stream, but I'm still very kind of tentatively excited to check them out. So, packaging on front says Lu, créateur de biscuits, since depuis 1940, I forget how to read years in French. It's 1846. Sans conservateur ni colorant, so made without products that will conserve the taste of the package of the snack or colors, and made in France, fabriqué en France. Let's see what it says on the back here. Blé soigneusement sélectionné, so wheat that has been specially selected. Tracé et contrôlé, so controlled. Respectueux de l'environnement, respectful to the environment. Par exemple, en visant à limiter l'usage en grains. Fabriqué de blé 100% française, so made from 100% French wheat. Cultivé au plus proche de nos biscuiteries, so made relatively close to our cookie making place. Partenant avec les agriculteurs, so partnered with farmers and agricultures. Engagé à nos côtés depuis 2008. See, I do know how to say some French dates. Okay. I think this might be the same manufacturer that made the brookie, so actually that makes me a little bit more excited. Let's see what we have in store. Okay, so they're like tiny little cookies that kind of look like this. Uh-oh, I think the cookies are stuck together a little bit, possibly because of the strawberry thing in the center. Let me just zoom in real closely to show you what this thing is. So as you can see, you have a nice little thin strip of strawberry jam, I guess, in the center, and you got your hard little cookie on the outside, although it is a little bit soft underneath the jam, so that's nice. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dig in. Interesting. Now, I don't know if this is because it's been like sitting around in my like drawer for a little while now, not being eaten, but this thing is like surprisingly soft, like way softer than I was anticipating. I felt it on the outside and it felt very kind of tough, and I was like, oh, I'm not really looking forward to this, but this thing is surprisingly soft. And the obviously the strawberry jam at the center of it, very nice as well. Not bad at all. Let's have this one, the one that got a little bit, oh, it fell in half. That's the one thing I don't like about these thus far, is that it seems like they're clinging together to each other, which doesn't seem like an intentional design choice. Overall, like much like the Topkas, they're not bad at all. I was kind of pleasantly surprised by how soft they are, but the problem is that the cookie part, while not bad, just feels very kind of mealy. It's not like the most, it's definitely not my favorite kind of cookie. I'm gonna have one more just to kind of help render our verdict here. Okay, I think I'm ready to vote on Lulu La Barquette Fraise, strawberry cookies. I'm gonna give these a solid 6. They're okay, they're not bad. I think that I've definitely had worse things on this channel before, but compared to something like the Topkiss that really kind of took me by surprise, not just with its flavor, but with its texture. These ones, it didn't quite reach as high. I think they also surprised me, but their surprise was a little bit softer, which is appropriate because the thing that was surprising about them was the fact that they were soft. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick. After I wash my hands, I'm going to clean up the counter a little bit. And after I clean up the counter a little bit, I'm gonna begin to work on the display that I'm gonna use for when I make my ice cream. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's see here. We don't need any of this anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this by the sink. We need to figure out something with the condensed milk. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna put it over here by the cooler. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the cooler just so that the coolness of the ice pack will keep it nice and refrigerated. There we go. Let's see. You don't need any more of the toothpicks, so those are going to go back in the drawer from whence they came. Yeah, you mentioned the Kozibear's cooking thing on top of my hat last time around, because oftentimes I'm leaning over on the counter. It would be cool to see it on there. I don't know. I think that's maybe like a Kozibear's Cooking Season 4 thing. I suspect it's probably not like that expensive to like have like a custom thing done for my hat in the future, and that if I just did it for myself, it would probably be fairly economical. I think it's one of those things where I just need to kind of figure it out kind of price-wise, how that thing is going to work. If it's not too expensive, I might go for it for just myself. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, the ice cream maker was set to on when I plugged it in. I was like, what the hell is making that noise? Okay. Let's see here. We don't need any more of this red food coloring or the vanilla extract, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put those away, like such. We have a little bit of white fondant here. We'll be using that in just a bit. Okay. Now I just want to wipe down the side of the red food coloring jar that we were using primarily because I just want to make sure that there's no excess food coloring on the side of it that could accidentally mess up the spice drawer that I'm putting it back into. So the last thing I want to do is to suddenly open up the spice drawer and everything is red. There we go. I think I did a pretty good job. Let's see here. Have you tried those embroidered patches, the one which you can apply with some heat? I have not worked with those sorts of things before. This would be my first time using things like that if I were to go with that. I think it would be easier, honestly, to just like get something like custom ordered. Or maybe there's like a store like somewhere in Montreal that can do something like that. I think that would probably be most convenient for me. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna grab a sponge real quick. I'm just gonna use it to kind of sponge and wipe down the counter over here, because pretty soon I'm gonna actually want to roll out some of the white fondant that I have so I can create the little features and details on Fanfar's face. And when that happens, I want to make sure that the counter is nicely clean so the fondant isn't getting like an excessive amount of like, you know, chili pepper seed residue inside of it. Okay. Have I touched them? I'll have to look into it. All right. Before we roll out our fondant, I'd like to introduce the plate that we're going to be serving Fanfar Lord of Flames on. So the idea here is real simple. What I have right here are little, hold on a sec, let me bring in the zoomed in camera. These are some of the leftover chili peppers, but stuck inside of a paper clip. And what we're going to do, real simple, is we are going to stick these on the plate like such, and then we're going to grab just a tiny itty-bitty piece of tape, and then we're going to use that to tape them onto the plate. Hold on. It will be better if we use the masking tape in this instance. So you apply a little bit like that, and voila, you have a chili pepper, giving your plate a little bit more of a fanciful design. I'm going to go ahead, I want to see how many chili peppers that we currently have at the moment. Let's see, 5. 10. 15. I'm not counting some of the smaller ones. 20, and then you have like a bunch of small ones here, which we're not going to count. These ones we'll all put immediately in the compost recycling because we're not going to have any use for them. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what kind of design I want to do on the plate. You know what I mean? I think I want to maybe make them a little bit more part of the inner circle. What I'm thinking is that I have this thing of like apple and strawberry applesauce here. What I can do is I can put it on this like lower section of the plate so that it covers up the tape and paper clip that the peppers are on top of, like such. Okay. And I have my paper clips over here. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is I'll just make like a nice circle like that. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do real simple is we're just going to cut off this stem partially like this. Then we're going to grab ourselves a paper clip. Hold on a sec. Let's see if I can like even out this thing's placement a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take one of the little paper clip pokey things. We're going to make it erect like such. And then we're going to shove the other side of the pepper through the paper clip to the best of our ability. There we go. Like that. And then, yeah, we apply some tape and we have an upright pepper on our plate. You know what if I applied, I'm going to do like the 4 kind of cardinal directions first, and then I'll like slowly kind of fill out the spaces in between them. I think that'll be easier. So this part of the stream is going to be a little bit slow, but again, we just want to give our ice cream maker in the fridge a little bit more time to chill, and of course our mixture a little bit more time to chill as well. So there's a custom embroidery service in Montreal called Stitch and Dink. Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to look into them. Thank you. One second. This one is leaning a little bit too much in that direction. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, let's see. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's apply a little bit of tape. Worst comes to worst in terms of like the pricing of all of this, George. I can always just like, you know, put like a sticker on top of my hat. Like it's a cheap way to do it, but I mean, for something that people are only going to see very rarely on stream, I don't think that it's the worst solution, you know? Okay. Hope everybody's been having a good day so far. Thank you once again to George and everybody else for tuning in. We've hit the, you know, traditional lull in the stream as we kind of barrel towards the end, and we gotta wait a little bit for things to run their course, but we're having a good time. I'm having a good time. Okay. Paper sticker. And thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. All right, let's see. Not bad, not bad. Now what I'm wondering here is if it would actually look better if I did like another row of peppers, like, in between each of these spots, or maybe if I moved it in a little bit and did another circle like in between each of these spots, but like more inside of it. I think that would actually look better. So I think I'm gonna do that. Okay. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, another 8. This one and this one look good. This one looks good. Let's see, this one looks good. These two are too small. This one's too small. 5, 6. This one's too small. All three of these look okay. Here we go. So 7, and then I'm gonna be, there we go, 8. These 5 I'll keep to the side in case I need them for something else. All right. Even in hobby, everything is set perfectly. In other words, even in hobby like that, you do things like an adult. Sorry, it's very confusing. It's very late. Not a problem. Not a problem. I get what you're driving at though. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, things that you do well aren't necessarily the most glamorous to watch done well. Sometimes they're a little bit kind of slow and plodding and methodical. By all means, George, if you would like to do that, feel free to be my guest. I will most definitely be posting plenty of pictures of this ice cream creation once it is finished on Twitter. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you. I'll put that on the... that'll be one of the box quotes for my streams when I release them on DVD. Okay. Where do you post it over on Twitter? I'm at Alex Kozina, ALEXKOZINA. If you do exclamation point Twitter in the chat, it should probably post a link there. There's also in the panels below my stream, there should be a link to my Twitter account there as well. That's exclamation point Twitter. All right, just a few more to go. Oh, hold on a sec. I think I misread your original thing. You said, where do you post it over than Twitter? Do you mean to say, where do I post it other than Twitter? Because I also post it on, as you might know, Instagram, and I also post videos of me eating some of these food creations on TikTok as well. You can find links to all those below the stream as well. I'm all at Alex Kozina, ALEXKOZINA on them. I feel like I might have told you that before, though. You have to apologize if I repeat myself every now and then. I'm a little bit of a, you know, I have a tendency to kind of repeat certain information when we get a bit late in the day. And you can call me out on it if you catch me repeating said information. Okay, fair. All right, 4 more, and we will be ready to move on to the next step. I think next step will be putting the applesauce on the plate. Whoa, Charisma, thank you for the raid. I realize that what I'm doing right now probably looks real confusing. So I'll try my best to explain what is going on. Hello to everybody that just arrived from Charisma's stream. Basically, long story short, I am in the process of making some spicy ice cream. That is modeled after the famous character of Fanfar from the podcast The Comedy Button. You can see a nice painting of him over here on the left side of the screen. And to make my display of ice cream look as beauticious and as unique as possible, what I've decided to do is I've decided to put a bunch of Thai chili peppers upright on the plate that I'm going to be putting the ice cream on. Right now it looks a little bit weird, but I'm going to be putting some strawberry applesauce on top of the tape so as to obscure it in just a minute. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Give me just a quick second. Right now, the ice cream mixture is already completed, and it's just resting in the freezer so it can kind of cool a little bit before we use it in our ice cream maker. That is the current plan. Let's just hold on just a quick little second. I just got to add 2 more peppers to the plate that I'm currently working on here. Then I'm going to apply the applesauce, and we will move on to making our ice cream. While the ice cream will be prepared, as you can see, Fanfar, Lord of Flames, has white horns, white eyes, and a mouth. I'm going to be rolling out some of this white fondant that I have left over from last week's stream and using that to make those small little facial features on the big fiery dude. And I think I'll also apply some black chocolate sprinkles to make his beard as well. It's a little bit tough to see, but as you can see, he has a beard. I also have some like red and orange sprinkles at hand if I need to use those as well to add extra kind of character to the dish I'm making. Not sure if I'll need to use them, but it's always an option for us. Let's move that out of the way. All right, we got one last chili pepper that we got to put on the plate. You guys actually came in at a good time because we were spending a little bit, like quite a bit of time putting these chili peppers on the plate, and it was getting to the point where I was like, this is taking, quite a while. Hope that people aren't getting too bored. So for you guys to kind of tune in right at the end is pretty clutch. Okay, so if I just move the counter view cam out, so if you look at this thing dead on, it looks like a literal sea of chili peppers. The only problem is, you do have some blue tape at the bottom there. Oh, Echo, turn off the timer. Echo, turn off the timer. That timer is just letting us know that our ice cream mixture has been resting in the freezer for the past half of an hour, which means that we need to start working with it real soon. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly move a couple of these things out of the way. I'm just gonna wash the plate that the paper clips were on real quickly, because I think I might use that later on to roll some of the ice cream in the chocolate sprinkles to create the beard. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead, let's put some applesauce on this thing. I'm gonna need a spoon. Let's grab ourselves a spoon. I don't know about you guys, but applesauce was always sort of like a traditional way of serving ice cream in our household in the past. I don't know if applesauce is like considered like an ice cream thing that you have with it, but it has been in our household. Maybe it's like a Canadian thing. I don't know. Oh, all right. This looks pretty good. Pretty good. Just that one spike over there. Yeah, this looks quite good. You know what I'm gonna do real quick? First off, I'm just gonna take this spoon out here. I taste a little bit of the applesauce. Tastes pretty good. I'm gonna close this jar real quick. I'm gonna put it in this little cooler pack that we have inside here. So originally, I was actually planning on making pizzas for this stream, like really unusual, weird pizzas. But our fridge actually broke down over the course of the past week. And so for that reason, I figured, you know what? Instead of making something that needs to be stored in the fridge, why not make ice cream? Because when we're done for the stream, all you gotta do is store that stuff in the freezer. Okay. I'm just gonna grab just like a small piece of paper towel real quick, and I'm just gonna use it to kind of just wipe down on the sides here so that we can kind of like keep the applesauce relegated to inside of the kind of like lower, deeper section of the plate that we have all this stuff inside of. It's not gonna be perfect, but if we can make it look just like 1% nicer, that'll be satisfying. All right, looks pretty good. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna take apart my ice cream maker very quickly so that we can make ourselves some ice cream. I'm gonna actually, let me put this over here on the other counter, just so that we have the space to work our white fondant while the ice cream maker does its thing. All right. First things first, we're gonna grab our ice cream maker bowl. Seems like the fluid that's inside of it has more or less frozen, so that's good. And now, we're gonna grab our ice cream, or at least the ice cream mixture that we have before it's frozen. Now just real quick, this was actually sitting in a dusty cupboard before I froze it, and it hadn't really been, it had been washed before we stored it there, but I was not 100% certain of how clean it was at the time, so I'm just gonna wipe down the interior of it with this paper towel, just to make sure that we can get whatever grime or guck was left inside of it. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay. And now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put that in there. We are going to put this thing on top, and we are going to start the mechanism. Ooh, Greek food, sounds good. We are going to put the stuff inside it. Let me grab a spatula real quick. All right. Echo, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Normally when you make these ice creams, they recommend that you like swirl them up for like 15 minutes. The thing is that we already used an electric hand mixer on this thing like quite a bit in advance. So I don't know how much air, like additional air, we need to add to this stuff. All right, I'm gonna try to, there's not too much of the ice cream mixture left in the bowl. I'm gonna try to get as much of it as we can in here. Thank God ice cream makers are not that loud. I was really concerned that this was gonna be really loud because earlier on in the stream we were using a hand mixer and it was especially noisy, but this is okay. I can live with this. I hope that you guys in the chat can live with it as well. All right, I'm just going to do one last little bit of scraping, just to make sure that I can really get as much of the stuff into the ice cream mixing bowl. Oh, I didn't mention this at the top when the raid happened. This is a spicy chocolate ice cream, by the way. It's heavy cream that was mixed with Thai chili peppers in addition to cocoa powder. So we are going to have a sweet and spicy delight when this thing is done being mixed up. I can say that much. Although not too spicy. I did taste it a little bit here and there, and it was honestly pretty A-okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me just check on something real quick. Okay. We're leaving this to do its thing. Again, we will continue to kind of check up on it and make sure it's going okay. While that's happening, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of cornstarch on the counter. I was just checking it real quick to make sure that it still was good. It is good. And with the cornstarch spread on the counter, we're going to go ahead and start rolling out our white fondant. This is my first time re-rolling white fondant or any kind of fondant after I had previously used it, so we'll see if my means of storing it last time worked out well or not. So far, so good. All right, seems like that's pretty nicely rolled out. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Now, the one problem that we have at the moment is that we don't know exactly how big these scoops of ice cream are going to be that we're going to use to make Fanfar Lord of Flames on the plate of applesauce and chilies that we have over there. So we don't know how big we're going to want to make some of the mouth and eye shapes. But we do have to keep this show rolling. So let me grab my pizza cutter real quick. And also I'll grab our dough scraper as well, because this is pretty good at cutting fondant too. Oh, hold on a sec. There's like a spot in here in the tool drawer that I just looked at that seemed like it was a little bit dirty. I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's see. Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on your 10
5 minutes and 10 seconds, and it might be an additional 5 minutes after that. Okay, let's start with the horns. All right, so this is horn number 1, so we're aiming for something like this. Again, if it turns out that these are like too big or too small, we can always cut more after the ice cream maker has run its course. So these are the 2 horns that are going to go on top of Fanfar, Lord of Flames. All right, now we need the mouth. Now the mouth, as you can see, has these little like black marks in it to denote where teeth are. I actually have a little bit of black decorating gel that I could use to try and kind of like recreate that effect, but I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. I'm going to cut the piece of fondant that we need, and then we'll figure out things from there. All right, this is the little mouthpiece that we just created, and so I'm just gonna try and see like how good it looks if I try to add a little bit of black to this thing. It's not easy, I can say that much. All right, I don't think it looks that bad. Of course, it's very hard to see on stream. I'm looking at it from my perspective. It looks okay. It would almost be, I feel like it would maybe almost be better if it was like a strip of black fondant with like white gel on top of it, but I think that's gonna be all right. Now, I can't quite see what eye color Fanfar's eyes are. I'm just gonna go ahead and say though that they're green because they have some green gel on hand. And let's see. He kind of has droopy eyes, so I guess if I make like a half circle shape, I can probably get at what the original Fanfar painting was going for. You know what? I think I'll have better luck with like a butter knife. Give me a second. Ice cream is looking quite nice. All right. It's really tough to kind of cut out pieces that are this small precisely, but I think I did an okay enough job. Whoa, Only Family is raiding with a party of 3. Thank you, Only Family. You the man. Much appreciated. I'm just gonna cut out like one more little eye shape just to see if I can get something a little bit better. At least for one of them. Because the 2 eyes are a little bit lopsided. Hello to Ronnie Rampage, who is now following me. I don't know why I said no like that. That was really weird. As a thanks for following me, you get 1 free wheel spin from the prize wheel of causality. I think these are the 2 eyepieces I'm going to probably end up using, by the way. Let's go ahead and let's spin the wheel. Let me just bring the Fanfar image out of view. I hope it turns out yummy myself. This is actually spicy chocolate ice cream is what I'm making. Oh, hold on a second. The Amazon Echo timer is about to go off. Echo, set a timer for 5 minutes. All right, there we go. That'll buy us a little bit more time. All right. And let's see what we land on. Oh, Pokemon card time. Thank you, Ronnie Rampage, for the compliment. And also thank you for allowing me to open up some more Pokemon cards. Let's open up that particular camera view real quick. All right. So this is where we open up 4 cards on stream. I'll try my very hardest not to drop the Pokemon cards into the ice cream mixture, but I can't make any promises. All right, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, it's Mudkip. I should have mentioned this at the front. These are Pokemon cards that are being selected from a Fusion Strike booster pack. Mudkip, of course, everybody knows this Pokemon. To alert it, the fin on its head senses the flow of water. It has the strength to heft boulders. I always loved Mudkip. He was my final starter of choice in Pokemon Emerald from back in the day. Him and his evolutionary line are huge fans of mine. I'm a huge fan of them, I should say. But I'd like to imagine they're fans of mine too. All right. Let's see what it is. Oh, check it out. It's our first holographic card. It's Toxel. It manipulates the chemical makeup of its poison to produce electricity. The voltage is weak, but it can cause a tingling paralysis. This is, of course, the electric poison type Pokemon introduced in Gen 8. I used its evolution quite a bit. I loved its evolution quite a bit. All right. Thank you, Only Family. Did it? Let's see what card number 4 yields. Did it? It's not had a lot of evolved Pokemon, so let's see if this is it. Oh, look at that. It's Goodra. Whoa, I actually don't have this guy yet. This is, of course, the gooey Gen 6 pure Dragon-type Pokemon. It forms its offense forcefully stretching out its horns. The strikes land 100 times harder than any blow from a heavyweight boxer. I always found that particular description when it came to Goodra a little bit weird, because Goodra himself is more specially oriented than physically oriented. I don't know, it's odd. All right, well, that's a pretty good pull. Let's see. It looks like our ice cream is coming along quite nicely, but I think we're going to need to wait just a little bit more for it to kind of fully come together. All right. Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on your 5-minute timer.
Cool. All right, I'm going to add Fanfar's brilliant green eyes. There we go. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I actually think I did a pretty good job here. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need to use any more of the gels for this particular stream. Oh, let me, hold on. Let me bring that camera view out just real quick. There we go. So we can have a view of my face as well. So I do have these two things of like orange and red-ish sprinkles. I'm not necessarily certain if I'm 100% going to need to use them. What I could use them for, so I have this plate over here that has, give me a second, upright Thai chilies inside of a pool of red strawberry applesauce. What I'm thinking is I could add some of the sparkles to the mixture to make it look like it's a little bit shinier, to make it look like it's almost like lava. I'm wondering if that maybe might be a little bit excessive. I'm gonna experiment with a few sprinkles to see how that looks, and then we will go from there. It seems like whenever I put sprinkles in there, they actually fall through the, yeah, they just straight up just fall into the applesauce. You don't even really kind of see them on the surface of it. So you know what? I think I'm gonna leave them as is. I maybe might put like a couple of sprinkles onto our ice cream Fanfar himself, but we shall see. All right. We're gonna need to make a like little kind of like circular shape for Fanfar's head that we're gonna dip in chocolate sprinkles. So I'm just gonna put some of the sprinkles in this bowl for when we get to that. Echo, turn off the timer. Actually, you know what? I think that this plate might not be the best use for that. Echo, set a timer for 5 minutes. I think maybe if I got like a shallow bowl, that might actually be for the best for what we're trying to do here. Here we go. I think if I put it in here, this will make the most sense. There we go. All right, just a few more minutes and we will be ready to assemble our Fanfar creation. Whew, man. This stream took a little bit longer than I was anticipating because I didn't anticipate how long we would have to wait to allow kind of like some of our creams to firm up in the freezer and fridge. But I think that the finished product is going to speak for itself. Here's the thing. If the ice cream is still a little bit too soft after it's had its run inside the ice cream maker, I think I'm probably going to want to keep it in the freezer overnight. If it is firm enough, we'll go ahead and we'll make it now on stream. But if you have to keep it in the freezer overnight, you'll see the kind of finished products of Fanfar Lord of Flames, the ice cream, on Twitter and Instagram, and also probably TikTok tomorrow. This is the original plastic container I was going to put the excess ice cream inside of, but I feel like this might be a little bit big. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find something smaller. I think... Let's see. I think either this or this container might be better, actually. Even if it is a little bit like, even if the ice cream is a little bit on the, how to say, like, soft side, I feel like we can still like create a tower that will become Fanfar, the Lord of Flames, and that will probably work out just as fine. Okay, Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 5-minute timer.
2 minutes and 38 seconds left. It's quite cold inside there. I'm just going to go ahead, while we're waiting for the final 2 minutes to be up, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start soaking the bowl that we used to mix together the ice cream. There we go. Just so that we can kind of get the ball rolling on that early. Speaking of which, I should probably grab a spatula, because we're probably going to want to use that when scraping the ice cream out of the bowl. Okay, Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 1 minute and 20 seconds left on your 5-minute timer.
1 minute and 20 seconds left. All right. At this point, there isn't really a whole lot to do. I've pretty much put everything that I want to put away at this point. Whew, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to how this thing looks out when we're finally ready to start scooping this up. Thank you once again to everybody for tuning in. I was quite surprised by both of the surprise raids that I got there. Really appreciate both the raiders and everybody else that has stuck behind. And even if you didn't stick behind, you know what? You're a good dude for at least coming along for the raid. Y'all are great people. All right. You know what? We're close enough to 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop things here. Echo, turn off the timer.
5-minute timer canceled.
All right. Judging by the viscosity of the ice cream that we have made in the ice cream maker, I don't know if our ice cream is ready yet. And that's okay if that is the case, because we can always assemble Fanfar Lord of Flames of the ice cream on a later date, but yeah. I'm wondering, so like, here's the thing. When you first use the ice cream maker, the ice cream that it results in is not going to typically be super firm. You have to kind of still keep it in the freezer for a couple of hours afterwards. I'm wondering, though, if the mistake I made, in addition to that, is that I didn't leave the like cream mixture enough time to really kind of firm up inside the freezer ahead of time. Things have been made like so much more complicated by the fact that our fridge currently isn't really working. And so that's made all these things way more complicated. But Yeah, this is not going to be workable. All right, well, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Unfortunately, you know, this is the part of the stream where I would say, hey, look at this beautiful creation that I've made, this beautiful dish, this scrumptious, delicious piece of food that is a completed and finished product that no more things will be added to. In this one particular instance, however, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram in the panels below this stream, links to them, that is. I'll be posting pictures of the finished product when it is finally finished over there. Give me a quick second. I'm just going to go ahead and dunk that in there. However, I can do a quick little taste test of this stuff to see how it tastes like. Oh, that has a little bit of a, all right, interesting. Initial taste, not overly spicy. It doesn't have that much of a kick at first, but the more you kind of let it savor and digest in your mouth, the more the spice kicks in. But it's not that bad. It's a nice little kick that's still relatively mellow, and I think that we can appreciate that. All right, thank you to everybody for tuning in. My name is Alexander Kazina, and I want you to keep on cooking. And remember, I'll be posting images of all the completed dishes I am going to be making from this stream over on Twitter and Instagram, the links to which you can find in the panels below the stream. See ya!